And I would like you to explain to us the workings of the capital market and how it can, empower Nigerians and promote development in the country. Give us a breakdown.
Thank you so much. And I would like to be as simple as possible. When we talk about the capital market, it is simply a market where funds can be raised. Those who need funds can come to also obtain funds from those who have, surplus. The capital market is a place where, over the years, we've seen the government come to raise money. Companies too also come to raise money. And when they raise this money, they're expected for companies, for example, to use them to expand. When companies expand with the money they're able to raise, what happens? It creates job opportunities. When government also comes to raise the money, they're expected to use the money to put into developmental projects. Okay, so that way you find the capital market contributing to economic growth and development. Then you also have, on the other hand, you also have investors, the suppliers of the funds. It's also a market where people can save. You can invest in a company, and then of course the company will give you at the end of the year. If the company does well, the company will give you dividends. And when you also buy a company's shares, for example, and there's an appreciation or the price of the share increases, you can also obtain what we call capital gain. So on the part of a place where people can come to invest. On the part of those who are also looking for money, it's also an opportunity for them to come and raise long-term funds. Now, it is different from the type of money you get from what we call the money market. That is largely from the banks. The banks can only give you short-term loans. But if you want the money that you can use to develop long-term, medium to long-term, okay, if you want to borrow, for example, 5, 10, 15 years, the best place to borrow that kind of money is the capital market. If you're looking for short-term money, less than 1 year, you can go to the banks, to borrow. So the capital market is there for long-term development, and that's why we say the capital market is critical, in any economy for development. And then going further, it is just like any other market, and it has products. A market has products. A market also has buyers and sellers. I've talked about the buyers and sellers. Now, what are these products? The common ones we know are, shares, ordinary shares. Okay, we also know about bonds. Okay, so these are the two traditional products that we'll have, in the market. We have other products, but these ones are the very traditional ones. So people invest in shares, people invest in bonds. Those who are also trying to raise money, they use those instruments, shares to raise the money, and they also use bonds to raise the money. So capital market is a very important, aspect of the financial market, and is very critical, in economic development.
Right.
And that's why that market, because it is where investors, go, the markets need to be properly regulated. Investors, need to be protected. Okay, and that is where the Securities and Exchange Commission, comes in. The SEC is the apex regulator in the capital market, and we also have operators that enable this process. Okay, stockbrokers, for example, are major operators that enable the process of intermediation, taking these funds from those who have to those who want to have. And I'm happy today the president of the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers is also with us on this conversation, because the stockbroking community is a major player in the Nigerian capital market. And of course, when you talk about raising funds, there are platforms that enable those funds to be raised. Platforms such as the Nigerian Exchange, that used to be called Nigerian Stock Exchange. Nigerian Exchange is a platform that enables the process of raising funds. And those that participate there, as I said earlier on, are the stockbrokers. Stock Exchange is just one of them. There are other platforms. I'm just mentioning the main boss.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.